Greetings and welcome to the podcast. I'm here with Brad and Colin for Video Game Book Club. The rules are simple. One person picks a game. You got to beat that game in a month, and then you get to pick the next game for everyone to play once your month comes around. Colin picked this game this month. What'd you pick?
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
X.
I was trying to think of a funny way to say X, but I was gonna say Z, but that's not.
Yeah.
That's not how that
No,
works.
that's Z. Awesome game.
It's good.
Yeah. I was
Definitely
a huge
flawed
fan.
masterpiece. If I had to call it
What?
something.
It's not flawed.
It has flaws. But it has more good things than flaws. 100%.
I like to call them quirks.
They're definitely quirks.
It's a quirky
They're
game.
Definitely quirks.
Tatsu's quirky.
We're gonna do the story.
Stories first. We're doing story. We usually do gameplay. It's story first.
Where do you even
Mixing it
fucking
up.
start?
Well, there's a war.
Oh yeah, the opening cutscene, as with any Monolith soft game, is simply fantastic. That was some cool stuff.
So here's the issue with the
Just wanna
opening
say.
cutscene. It is irrelevant to the whole game.
Yeah, basically.
Well, even more so. Okay, I'll ask you both. Who do you think those people they're fighting in the first cutscene are not the ganglion?
No, it's like an unnamed third party, isn't it?
It's a race called the Ghosts. They are never brought up again.
I was about to say, are they mentioned in the other games? Because this is my first Xenoblade game.
They're not mentioned in this
This is
game
a-
ever again.
Ex-original.
It's like they wrote this whole antagonist and then they're like, nah, fuck that.
Well, didn't you say it was rewritten partly through development?
Because there was, I guess those were supposed to be like the ganglion, but they turned into something else, which is weird. But it does start out sick.
There's gonna be spoilers, by the way. I don't know if.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoiled fucking
yeah.
every game we've
Yeah.
done on here.
We this is the first spoiler alert warning. This is Racism is Bad, the game.
Yeah. I mean, well,
Um,
if the side quests anyway.
Yeah, which you have to do. There's no two ways around it.
Well, if you care about affinity missions with other characters, yeah.
Well, I got a story about that. Gwen sucks. Hated Gwen. Gwen is this little pissant character that it comes up to you and is like, "Oh, I'm so much better," and then you whoop his ass. But canonically, for the story, you have to get him to like you a little bit. There's 5 affinity hearts, for each character, and you have to get him to 1. And it doesn't sound bad, but it is if you don't like the character.
I don't think he's that bad. I did I got every party member besides Mia. But there's definitely worse party members. Murderous is one of the dumbest characters ever.
Yeah, it's edgy just for the sake of being edgy.
Like any mission you go on her, she just like, oh, thanks for doing the mission. And then she tries to kill you, and you have to fight her.
That's obscene.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I did not pursue that.
Well, yeah, because I'm looking at the character, like party members. There's people in here that I never even met. It's kind of like Yakuza, where it's like I played the game for 60 hours, and I have I never met Bozy.
Yeah, that's Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Bose.
Bose is awesome.
No, he's not. It's a dude who's just like it's a white guy who's obsessed with Eastern philosophy, and he just keeps calling you he's like, call me sensei. He just keeps saying, call me
legendary-
sensei.
He's a legendary weeb monk, dude.
No.
Who else? Yelv. I got no idea who Yelv is.
I think you had him in your party at one point.
Maybe there's a bunch of people that I had for like 3 minutes and then dumped them off.
Tangent. Yelv tells you about a thing called J bodies.
I don't know what that is.
Is that you complete his storyline?
It's just mentioned in passing. It's some people don't have MIMs. They have J bodies. And that's where the explanation ends. We never find out what a J body is, who has J bodies, and what's the difference.
All right, well, we should, like, all right, so the story is like Earth gets fucked, and then you're on a spaceship that lands on another planet.
Boy, well.
the white whale, and there's this life pod thing, and they got like a
Mhm.
Times Square. It's called New LA, but in this Times Square, there's like a big percentage meter of like the life
The life hold.
losing. Yeah, the
Yeah,
life hold
after the
running out of
gangling.
juice.
After the people that blown up the earth decide to track you down because they really want to genocide the human race.
Yeah. But apparently, according to lore, the ganglion weren't even the ones that started it. They're just like there.
So,
You know,
I mean, we
oh
could skip
dude,
ahead. The ganglion are slaves.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
we should probably put some more perspective or some more background before we dive into the
I'm trying because
nonsensical
I'm trying
stuff.
to remember because it's like I feel like a lot of shit happens in the beginning and then there's like this a pretty big lull period and then they just throw everything at you in the last chapter.
Pretty big, like a 30-hour lull period.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game suffers from, I think, them. It seems like they rewrote the story more than just once, and
Yeah.
it suffers from not having enough time to be developed because there's so many cool ideas and story beats that just don't come to fruition or never talked about again.
Well, this is like a 15-year development game. Like it didn't take that long, but like to do everything fully fleshed out would take that long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they made this game in like 3 years.
That's obscene for the amount of content. So
Should have
unlike
waited till the
other
Switch released.
Xenoblades, the side quests are dope.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they're dope after this one too. It's just the first game they like really fucked up.
MMO simulation, dude.
Yeah.
fully voice acted, has some cutscenes. There's lots of cutesy shit in some of the in most of the residential affinity missions and side quests.
The affinity missions and side quests, they just do such a good job at like building the world out. Like it's like insane. Like especially because like you're always doing stuff for like different races, and like you get to see how they view the world. It's super interesting. Because I know Frank, you didn't meet the bug people.
No.
I forget what they're called. Do you remember what they're called, Brad? I don't know if you met them either.
No, I know they give you an arms manufacturer that you can upgrade.
Yeah, they're super interesting because they they reproduce. They're like loyal to this water called ova, and it's the only way they can reproduce is like with this water. So and they never die. So basically, when someone dies, if they drop the water on them, they'll split in two, and their whole like all their knowledge is transferred onto two more. But their whole thing is like they can't find any more of this water. Like they're stranded in on Mira and they have no water, so like they're dying out. But they find some Noctilum. So
Oh, that's why you find them. Well, probably near a pool of water then, huh?
yeah, because they're searching
Or
for
is
that.
that later on?
Yeah, they're searching
Oh,
for the ova, the like this thing they worship. It's like a god basically.
oh yeah. Speaking of alien species, the uh the warrior-like race. I'm just
The
gonna look it up
prawn.
on the wiki. No, not the prawn.
Oh,
The mercenaries, the
Fuse?
tiger.
the no, the cat people. The Rothians.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, Rothians. Or where'd they go, dude? Like, there's a whole boss fight. They make
Oh, they
separate
have a side
models for the
quest.
skulls.
There's an affinity mission where you go to, I don't know what it's called. It's like one of the level 50 ones. You go to Oblivia because that's where they're stationed, and you have to fight the not the leader but the chick again.
Yeah, on the sphere.
You have to fight her, and then you give them. They need medicine for their people. You get the medicine, and then they come back to New LA. You make a truce with them to fight the ganglion,
Oh, okay.
which
So I
probably
did
opens up more side quests.
Mm, 'cause I did do a side quest where you have to gather intel on them or on their skulls from. You get it from. I think you get it from Nagi or the defense secretary, and I thought that was going to lead into a story mission later on and not another side quest.
Oh, you mean Mori, whose name is revealed 50 hours into the game?
Oh no, so I figured that out. Nagi and Maurice are different.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nagi's not the president. Maurice is the
Okay.
Is it?
president. Nagi's like second in command, basically.
They just
I'm pretty
look the
sure.
same.
Yeah, they're two white 50-year-old men.
Also, shout out to Hulk Hogan. He's one of my favorite characters.
I did like Van Damme.
He was okay. Did anyone do the time travel quest?
I don't even know where that
I
is.
must have missed it.
Yeah, it's a huge side mission. You go to this guy named Professor B, and he's like, "I'm from the future," and you're like, "No, you're not." And then he's like, and then he starts speaking just random like wingdings. He's like, "No, that's future speak," and he's got like this man-on assistant, and you like help him build a DeLorean, and he goes back in time. But he won't go in the DeLorean. He's like, it's going to blow up, so we have to shove the man on in it. He's like, because he's my fucking assistant. But it doesn't, I don't know. Eventually it works, and he like goes back in time or whatever, or goes in the future, because he's from the future. And then, I don't know, he comes back. You have to keep getting him parts to fix his stupid machine. It's definitely interesting. There's some crazy side quests.
Side quests are insane, and they give you really good shit. Like I did L side quest that I know Colin said that he didn't do, um, and I almost didn't do because it sucked. And he gives you a whole shop where you can put augments on your weapon, like augment slots.
Oh, I did that
Yeah.
one. I didn't do the one
Yeah,
after
that's-
that.
Gotcha.
Because that's the one where the chick's like, my husband died, and his dying wish was to explore 25% of Oblivia. Can you
Yeah.
do that? And that just gives the shop to L, which is insane.
L's my favorite character.
Let's see. I think I made it through the most with Yelv and Hope. Yeah, that's the most I did.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure those are like considered the two worst party members.
Like in gameplay.
Yeah. Hope is like apparently completely useless as AI.
Did you guys play any other characters aside from your character?
Nah, I just played my character.
I just played my
I
character.
always
as
end
well.
up doing
I
that in
didn't
every
even know you could
Xenoblade.
switch.
Yeah, it's just like every Xenoblade where you can play it.
Oh, the leader.
Yeah,
You switch the leader. Duh.
because yeah, the speed run you use Elma, but
Wait, no, story. We gotta keep it a story. We
Yeah,
can't switch the gameplay.
no, my
yet.
favorite character is probably I like Celica's cool, even though it's such a minor character. I just think that's an interesting. I wish they fleshed that character out more.
You know there was more planned for her. They're not just gonna introduce her and another like basically two new Xenos and then do Jack basically.
Yeah,
or make him not relevant.
I looked into it. They have voice lines with Lao with Celica, like after you finish a battle. But obviously, it's after Chapter 9 where fucking you can't use Lao anymore. So they definitely had a plan on getting her sooner and her being more involved in the overall story.
Wow, fucking sucks.
No.
That's why it doesn't make much fucking sense. I get the build up they got for his motivation of why he betrayed and stole the data,
Yeah.
but it was just too quick. I think.
Well, because it's like, yeah, it just kind of comes out of nowhere.
It's like, yeah, you know he's depressed and a wreck from his wife and child being obliterated on Earth like billions of others, but you don't see like there's no sign of the like Twisted Elite governing New LA, which I thought was going to be a thing because in the beginning, the not the Secretary General, the president or whatever lies about how many people they recovered.
Oh,
Like
Maurice or
they
whatever.
found you, and they only found 7 in the first mission.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be sick, and then no.
Because I feel like the first few like, do you know the one where you fight the Zufrang or whatever that thing's called?
Oh, Zufar,
Yeah, the big ship.
giant.
Like that almost felt like it didn't matter.
Yeah, no, and there's no way like it makes sense having your own party defeat it. fights. Like in universe, I don't know. I know it's not a good way to look at it like that, but you'd think they'd have like all of New like all the blades and whatnot, assembled together and
Well,
fight
and
that.
like in Rise, I think it's her name, Rise. She like steals that machine from Luxar, and he's like pissed, but it's like, why does he care? I don't
Oh
understand.
yeah, she GTA'd it.
Yeah, but it's like, why does he care? He has the Vita. Like, he's got this like crazy scale. Why does he care about this fucking big ship?
Well, I think it's you can assume that she wasn't authorized to use it, and she just wanted for the salty run back against New LA.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it was
But
weird. That whole mission was weird. It felt pointless in a way.
well, yeah, and at the time he was calling that Skell a god. Like it's something that his kind wouldn't. You would get the
What?
feeling that they wouldn't touch it or try. To
Well,
do
that's a
anything with
whole
it.
nother thing.
Well, now we get into the good
We're
part.
we're just gonna go. We're going to the meat.
We're going right to it. Yeah, because to bitch about what I want to bitch about, we gotta get to it. So this game does a near, this game does a Soma, this game does. Actually, now that I think about it, there's a lot of games that end the way this game
I don't think it
did.
does that though. It it has the most cliffhanger ending of all time.
Yeah, but it is a huge cliffhanger ending. Well, actually, yeah, that after credit scene changes a lot of
Yeah,
things.
it makes it's like, oh, you thought it's straight up like, you thought this was this game. It's not.
Yeah, well, it was a you thought into you thought,
Yeah.
the double you thought. So it ends with the lifehold doesn't have bodies in it, like, because I don't think we explained that. You're not like a human in a game. You're a robot with like a human consciousness, and they're like, oh, dude, our bodies are in this lifehold.
Mimiasomes.
Yeah, but they're not. It's just like DNA transferred through a macro processor, like a huge fucking processor. And Captain Ganglion, Grandmaster Chancellor, is not fucking with it at all. And then there's like they can create shit with it, and it's just all sorts of stuff.
And
Like it has all the DNA of every life form on Earth.
here's what gets crazy.
20 million people.
No. It has all DNA of Earth.
Wait, I thought it said they only had 20 million people because the other
Conscious.
ships that had
It only has
space
20 million people. They have human DNA though. It's different. Like they have the human conscience of 20 million people, but they have the DNA
yeah.
of all the
You're right,
the living
you're right.
things. Gets more confusing because they mention that there's other arcs that had people on them, not the computer.
Yeah, but they could only hold 50,000.
Where are those? Did those land?
They're just flying around.
Well, that's another thing that never gets explained. You find a piece of ship apparently that has a French and Japanese arc that crashed on Mira.
So two ships crashed on Mira?
Multiple did apparently. And then what else is there? Who the fuck's the Great One? Never explained. Just keep saying only the Great One can pilot the Vita.
The Great One's the fucking bird, I thought.
No. The Great One is like the god of the ganglion. Apparently, he always brings it up that only the Great One can pilot the Vita.
Yeah,
and then
it's got to be some.
Well, and when you fight the Vita, there Alma points out, oh, it's scuffed, because he can't actually access like the full power of it.
Oh yeah, the his advisor said that if he went in there, he wouldn't. It'd like slowly kill him or something.
Yeah. So that's never explained. Who the fuck's Elma?
I don't need to know who Elma is. Elma's dope enough where I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but what's her race? That's
Bro,
never
I thought she was
explained.
gonna be an old lady in stasis or something. Because you're gonna be surprised when you see my body, and she's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
Well, I liked that because it makes all the racism shit stupid.
Yeah, but it's like, what race is she? It's like, okay, so she's this alien that came to Earth 30 years before the ghosts arrived to destroy Earth. But it's like, okay, so who are these people? Why do they care about humans?
Oh, that's the Federation you never hear about because they couldn't write their way up to that, I guess.
And then, what else is there? There's so many unanswered things. Oh, the hero. So they in the beginning game, you know how they're always referencing this hero. It was like Elma and the hero. You know, she had an old team. That's
Yeah.
never explained. Never know who this hero is because the Skell they're piloting in the beginning is a 2-person Skell, but Elma and someone else was piloting it, but we have no idea who that guy was.
They should have just done the reveal where it was you, the player character.
Yeah, but that's where it gets
That
more
would have worked out
confusing
too well.
because in the art book, you get to see what the hero looks like, and it's like a dude in like a black armor with a cape, right? Who's the
Yeah.
dude? Who's the dude walking up to Lao on the beach at the end of the game?
Oh yeah.
That's that guy. Also, how the fuck's Lao alive? He's not in a
Well, yeah.
Mimiso.
Well, apparently he died because he talks about that when the building's fucking collapsing, and he's like, even if I die, I'll be uploaded to another mim. So I think the planet just shits out things, which is why I like the whole planet like
Well,
sub
he'd still
thing.
be in the life core. Like,
That's the thing. That's the thing, though.
He's preserved.
The
Or
only
not
way they
anymore,
can
never
bring him
mind.
back in the Mim is through the Mim Center in New LA because they have like the suits or whatever, the bodies.
Yeah.
He's washed up on the beach. He's not in a Mim. What is he,
Yeah.
he's a human now?
Well, I think that's I don't know exactly, but I think the planet just keeps shitting out things that are alive, which would make sense for the monster respawn system, which is why I liked it.
I hate that because then it's just like crazy thing happens. Well, Mira did it, which is the
Yeah.
worst way
Well,
to write it off. But
That was supposed to be the hook into the next game because Elma does say in the post-credit scene that something's up with Mir. That something's up with this planet.
well,
like
yeah, because
something's
that's
going
the
on.
big twist. All the consciousness of all the people is destroyed. So how the fuck are they even alive?
Yeah, where's our fucking second game, Monolith? Come
Yeah,
on.
I don't know. Like this game needs it needs a sequel.
Maybe Mira is the great one.
Maybe, but
Nah,
how would
Luxor
Mira
isn't
pilot the
native to me.
Skell?
I don't know. Maybe it was like maybe the spirit of Mira or something. Because Mira is like a live entity in itself,
Yeah,
given all the context. And the Great One, I looked into it while we were having this conversation. The Great One is just referred to as the Great One, no other context
yeah. So we don't
in
know
any
who that
form of
is.
media.
Well, the Ganglion aren't native to Mira, so shouldn't be anything.
The
from
Ganglion aren't even
planet.
alive.
Yeah, the
I mean, they
Ganglion are fucking stupid.
Well, because that's the craziest part. Okay, so humans are descendants of the Sumerians who come from a different dimension, and then and then populate Earth with humans. But to do that, they synthesize the original ganglion to serve them, and human DNA it just obliterates the ganglion existence. So who the fuck's evil in this game?
You know, I feel like that plot point has, like, the fact that they were brought up as a slave race that gained sentience, and I'm assuming tried to fight off their rulers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Conjecture, but fuck them. Repeating myself. So, so many things in this game just could have been done so much better.
Well, I kept
Or
like
someone else
I
did.
obsessed over the game after I beat it like a lot, and I'm just like, okay, they talked about the Sumar, and I don't know who the Sumar are, so
Oh,
it's like,
Yeah, that's the original race.
yeah, they're like they're like the fucking police of the galaxy or some shit. And then
Progenitors.
Captain Ganglion was like, oh, humans are descendants of Sumar. So it's like, did the Sumar made us to like fucking go around and fuck shit up, like as humans in Xenoblade, like, and because he kept referring to it as the legacy, like the Sumerians made a fucking like prophecy, you know?
Yeah. There's so much. Okay, and then like, remember when they said, "Oh, how did they get this like Trion barrier and all this tech?"
Yeah.
Elma.
And then you find out it's from Elma, and then but then he refers to, "Oh, it's from the Clue system, like the solar system."
Yeah.
Well, Celica is a fucking Cluorian, so somehow she's connected. Like, she's from the same solar system as Elma. At least, connecting some loose ties. but I have no idea. I mean, it doesn't tie in because that shit is just like there's so much that they just didn't.
Yeah, there's nothing to tie it into. It just doesn't exist.
Well, there's other shit that I had no idea existed, like the Zura Borgin. Like, what the fuck are those?
Those are the bug people I was talking about with the
Those are the
water.
bug
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's the mimics. They look
Yeah, Frank met
strangely
them.
even though we're separate.
They have weird names like it'd be like TM37 something.
Yeah. Oh, did any of you guys do the side quest where you meet one of the? It's like that those gray with the skulls with the floating arms. It has they call it the black skull, and it keeps obliterating this dude or obliterated this dude's blade team.
I did one of the missions with the black skull.
Dude, that had my mind going because I thought it was gonna be something like akin to Mechanis stuff.
Oh, and it was just something
Or
dumb.
well they had the weird like the call sign or code name in the beginning. I'm like, oh, these guys are mechanized based life forms, but they're just regular skulls.
Yeah, the game really isn't tied to Xenoblade in any way. I mean, they could tie it, but it's not. There's like
I thought it was gonna be a similar beat to it.
I was trying to. What was the? Oh, and then the prawn aren't evil. They're just slaves to the ganglion.
That out of everything, that makes the most sense.
And then there's different clans of prawn. There's like the cave clan, the tree clan, because you can get them to move into New LA also.
And that's not even going into like all the creatures on this planet.
Yeah.
Like, why are there mechanized creatures everywhere?
Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense either. There's so much to do in the game, and yet none of it's explained.
Yeah, because there's really no industrialized civilization that's native to Mir, I think, unless the Proan are, and I don't know if they are.
I don't think they are
That's
either. I think they were brought like as slaves. Like nothing's native to Mira besides the indigents.
Oh, and Nopon.
And then, like, in the middle of all of this, they still have time to pack in, like, oh, find me a recipe for the best coffee, and oh, I want this girl to like me, and shit like that. And every time I was just like, there's more important shit to do, but I'm gonna do this.
And then more crazy shit that could be connected. Elma looks almost identical to Cosmos from Xenosaga, which is like a huge thing. And then people are crazy. You know when Elma's like typing in the computer at the end of the game?
Yeah.
She types "You shall be as gods," which is a reference to Xenogears, like the opening cutscene. So I don't know if they're trying to tie it into that game or.
Dude, wow. If they had the grand ambition of making it a prequel to Xenogears somehow.
Right. But it's just insane. It's all like, here's a bunch of crazy shit. Now try to connect it with your imagination.
Yeah. We didn't have the time to do it in dev time, so you gotta do it yourself.
It needs a sequel, or at least it needs to be do what they did with the first Xenoblade, where they add like a 10-hour DLC just to tie these loose ends.
Yeah. Or shit, like almost a whole remake. Just to flesh it out.
Because, like, if the game, I don't know, the story could have been so much better. Because if the story was like how it was at the end throughout the whole game, this game would be so fucking sick.
Yeah, and it does. It's guilty of doing the exposition dump instead of actually like showing anything or having good build up.
Yeah, I mean, there
It's
wasn't even
too
really a
instant.
twist until the end of the game where they threw like 7 of them at you at once.
Yeah.
It was like a
Too
twist
much.
after twist after. It's like, oh, you killed. It's like, oh, there isn't bodies. Oh, you killed Luxar. Oh, he's alive. Oh, this thing's spitting out enemies. Oh, Lau's back. It's just like it keeps
Yeah.
post credits. Oh, everyone's dead. Oh, Lau's back again.
Because the vast majority of this game is them throwing a fucking boss monster at you and being like, kill it, you know?
Yeah.
Like the chick and the dude with the swords that were fucking awesome.
Oh, the Rothians.
Yeah.
Prince Jigar. I don't know how I remember these names. The names are just so fucking absurd, but I can remember most of them.
Right? Why?
My favorite side quest was really simple too. Like it was just Alex fucking being a racist twat and shooting fucking little Jar Jar Binks aliens,
Yeah.
and then you fight them. And
I,
I'm like,
That's
what?
definitely up there.
I finished that quest line. You eventually kill him completely.
Good, because you fight him like 6
You
times.
do fight him like 6 times.
So, oh yeah, that quest reminds me of like a lot of the flavor text you get around, like walking around in the residential commercial district. There's a lot of the dialogue is about like, well, how are we get? They're talking about the relationship between the Xenos and humans, and I thought it was just some good writing, even though it was a small part.
Yeah, they really push that point, but then it's just like, haha, like Elma's an alien, which really kind of just like, what is the point of this? It's weird. It's definitely like they wrote like 3 games. Like, fuck, we got to make this into one game.
Oh yeah, you'd think there'd be more than just Alex and his cronies being anti-Xeno group colony.
Even the Steven Seagal guy hates Xenos.
Yeah,
Which, like I said, again, I mean, not Mira, fucking Elma being an alien is even like, that's just like, I feel like that's the big thing. It's like she's an alien, and the whole game, everybody's just been a huge dick.
And you were
And she
saved
kind
by
of
an
looks like
alien.
Elle too. Elle even says that he'd bang her, so
I hate L.
Elle was so good.
yo, see if they had like Brose or somehow had Alex not get caught or die, and he was like in the final mission with Elma, that would have been a good climax to that whole thing. Or, like
I feel like
have
that's
him
not even.
face his.
I don't. The racism is meaningless. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
If they did that, I would have been pissed. If they're like, we put the racist alien guy, and you're saved by an alien. It's like an episode of Degrassi, dude.
Well, no, I'm just if the character actually had an arc or something going on, like character growth, but obviously that's not a thing for half the.
No,
Yes.
the racist people are just racist until you kill them, and then they can't be racist anymore because they're dead. Also, there's a lot of murder in this game. You're just fucking killing like your own people in your own like army essentially, and no one gives a fuck.
Yep. No repercussions whatsoever for anything. Never even mention it.
You end up killing like 100 blades, and no one cares. They don't even bring it up with Nagi or anyone. Like, yeah, some of these blades are fucked.
Yeah, it's way too cut off from the storylines or the main story
Yeah,
missions.
it like has no impact. It's cool, but it has no impact on like anything.
You know what else doesn't have impact? The same Tatsu and Lin joke said 500 times, dude.
I didn't get that annoyed, but yeah, it's like come at the end of the game, it's like it was just too much. It was literally every mission.
Anytime they're on screen
Yeah.
together, it's just like, I'm gonna eat you, Tatsu. No, Lin, don't.
The only time it was funny is when he fucking Tots was going, man, like the no pawn shit. He only does it like 4 or 5 times throughout the whole game.
I like Tatsu though. I think he's funny.
Tatsu is one of the best annoying characters.
And I love the scene where Lao's like dying, and then he's like, "You can't die. Here's some food. I'll kill you
Yeah.
if you die." And then, oh, Lao's fucked, dude.
Huh?
Lao's fucked. All this dude wants to do is die, and he can't die. And then the game says, "Oh, you really can't die."
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
The dude just wants to be in heaven with his family, dude. And they just keep making him not die. It's
Well, and then he
super
turns
fucked.
into the fucking Resident Evil monster, dude.
I know they have the biohazard come out of the fucking human DNA.
Dude, he
Yeah.
looks exactly like that one Resident Evil guy. Well, I mean, any amorphous blob from Resident Evil, he looks like.
True, with some big eyeball and wings. That's like,
Yeah.
Can't forget Walter's face on his hand or palm.
and the fingers on the shoulder. It's a cool looking
Looked really
final
fun.
boss.
I wasn't really stoked for that one, especially after the fight in the Scout beforehand. I don't know, it just felt out of left field. But that's
I
this game, I guess.
didn't really feel it. I thought fighting the Vita was lame.
No, it was a lame boss fight. I just think that
Well, not even like the boss
the-
fight. The like the story behind it like really made it super lame because like the game hypes up the Vita as like the ultimate weapon the whole time, and like they keep talking the great one. We're gonna get him to pilot this shit, and then you just end up fighting a scuffed form of the Vita. So it's like you didn't even get to fight the thing at full power, which is kind of lame.
yeah, that is true. I mean, I guess it's not any better than the self-defense system, just going A or going berserk.
Yeah, I thought it was cool what they did with Lao. I mean, it looked cool. It wasn't hard, but
I just watched the end scene again, and L's eyes are mim eyes. Like, they're not human eyes. So, he really did just fucking. Like, he's a mim again.
L's not a mim. Or are you talking about
Not
Lao?
L, sorry.
Wow.
Lao.
Yeah, that he does have the mim eyes, but that doesn't make any sense. Like if they make him a mim, I don't understand how. Okay, so he's a mim, and then he falls into the human DNA, and then he becomes a fucking biohazard, and then he disintegrates because it literally forms into fucking like particles,
Yeah.
and then he washes up on an ocean in a robot body. That
Honestly, it's probably just an oversight. They just didn't bother changing the text.
I'm assuming it's an over because like I think the point would be like, oh, he's biologically reborn, but also
Okay, that makes
there's
sense.
the dude in a cloak walking up to him. Who the fuck's that? And then they have the audacity to say the story never truly ends, which is fucked up.
Well, yeah, because where's Xenoblade Chronicles X2?
Yeah, never coming. Because they
It
keep
really
going.
didn't sell that well.
Well, the thing is, they keep going like, we can't port it because it'd be a bitch to rewrite this whole game for the Switch. Because they said they want to do a sequel to this game, but they the money isn't there to do it, which sucks. Because if this game doesn't get a sequel, that's kind of a travesty.
Yeah, because the story never ends, dude.
Yeah, that is a fucked up way to end a game if you're never gonna make a sequel.
Yeah. Another thing, dude. Why do they use biohazard weapons like Queen fucking Crawley thing as like a defense mechanism for this giant processor? Like, why not just have giant laser beams?
I mean, true.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, the defense system is to spawn fucking lizards.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here's a cat. It can make a cat. And then it just spawns giant fucking, like, it's Resident Evil shit.
I guess Elma kind of explained it. It was from Luxar hitting it that it was going fucking haywire. So maybe it was just like malfunctioning.
Yeah.
But I get everything's like inferred in this game. Like we really have no idea.
Yeah,
that
we don't
one, I
know
just
who
turned my
Elma
brain
is.
off. Wouldn't think about it.
You have to turn your brain off for the whole end game. They're just like, yeah, you're the descendants of a different dimension god.
That's all it was for the last 2 chapters is like, oh, that's fucking crazy. I don't know what it means, but it's fucking crazy.
Because like they could straight up just be like, oh yeah, the Sumars or the Samars, yeah, they're from the original Xenoblade dimension, dude. And here comes Shulk, dude, and he's riding around in a mech now. Like, they could do some dumb shit like that if they wanted to.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it's just like, who knows what the fuck they do.
Why'd this war happen?
So because they need to kill the humans, the ganglions, I guess, which makes no sense because it's the ghosts. So we'll
Yeah,
just
it's
say the
the ghost, right?
ganglions.
So I assume it's just like the Sumerians are good and the ghosts are bad, and they want to kill everything because they're ghosts.
But
Well, the gangly did have a fleet there, right?
I think
Like,
so.
I think they were the purple dudes.
I think that's the ghosts.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. You're right. Because we never saw the sweet purple green shit or scales at all
You never
after
see those ships again.
that. Even though they're the one I think they're the one that crashes the white whale when you're trying to they're trying to escape.
Yeah,
So
like that's straight up like an oversight.
yeah, so just like they can't scrap the work, so might as well just keep it.
Yeah, so I'm watching this cutscene now, and it says it's an unknown alien force. So, yeah, it could be. I guess it could be the ganglion, even though this looks nothing like the ganglion. And they used because that was the thing. That's how Earth blew up. They their ships are powered by dark matter, and like when they'd shoot the ships down, they'd crash on Earth and they'd fucking explode, and then the Earth eventually
Yeah.
exploded.
Like the two sword people, the dude and the chick. One's the dude's like a big lion furry dude,
Yeah,
and they're like, and they're talking to Grand Chancellor fucking Lobster Neck,
Luxar. Yeah,
and Luxar, and they're like, we're no longer in an alliance. Like, we're not gonna kill the humans because like you fought them. Who are the fucking lion people? That's the only one you see, to my knowledge.
yeah.
Well, that's weird. Sorry, go on.
No, you can go.
Yeah, that the whole point they were under service of the ganglion was due to the ganglion having some threat over their home planet. I can only assume,
Okay,
or
so
the
they are
rest of
from a
their
different
people.
planet.
Yeah, no one's
But
from
that
Mira.
totally goes out the window.
Yeah, 'cause it is like because eventually the dude or Prince Jigar is just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. So it's like, well, then why'd you ever give a fuck, dude?
Yeah, unless he doesn't have to worry about a civilization out there somewhere. But anyway, I, wait. I thought El and the Nopon were native to Mira.
L has just I can't say for all. They only say they've lived there for a long time, but
Oh
they
yeah,
don't.
that's ambiguous. Then.
Yeah, they don't say that they're like that's their home planet though. And with the Nopon, who the fuck knows, dude? They're
I mean,
they're not bright, dude. They could have been there for a year.
well, I was gonna say they're not building any light speed travel capability anytime soon.
I almost don't even want to count them. They feel like a non-canon piece of the fucking game written in just to be like, yeah, I remember these things from the other game.
Xenoblade reference.
Yeah, basically. And then L is just a flamboyant blue guy.
He is
That
a
talks dumb.
sage of different worlds on the ever-present quest of knowledge, and he's dope. He just says
Good thing I
every
never saw him
catchphrase
again.
wrong. We won with our hands down.
He sucks, dude.
You know, in the final, when you have like the 7 or 8 of you rushing into the life hold,
Yeah.
I was really disappointed. The people I actually grinded Affinity for were not there. Instead, I get Gwyn, Arena, and fucking L.
Well,
Like,
because
come
you
on.
grinded affinity with random people like Steven Seagal.
I didn't do it for him. I did it mainly for Hope and Yell.
L,
And Yell's story
race.
is actually.
What? Yell's story sucks. You like his
What?
story?
I thought it was. It was at least interesting, and he had like realistic motivation.
What about the party members they never bring up, like Frog and Alexis?
I mean, I don't know much. I don't know anything.
Yeah,
about
they're random and suck.
Maybe it's Mira's water.
Yeah, that's one of the theories too, because the bug people, they find a droplet of ova in Noctilum in the water there, and that is how they like are reborn. It's like an all-knowing entity. So they could write that in and it would make sense.
Yeah.
L has no race and his occupation is wanderer. He sucks.
You topple an enemy and he goes, I think they fell for it.
He's not even a Blade member.
Oh God.
This
He's
guy-
a good tank. He has one of the best tank skills in the game.
I know, he's the best tank in the game. That Mindstorm skill is insane.
It was like magic, dude. Oh, speaking of magic, we got to the point where I wanted to bitch at. Why can Luxar shoot orbital beams of fucking purple from his hands? That's never talked about, never mentioned, never explained. He doesn't have anything on his hands. It's not like a glove gauntlet thing that shoot. He's just doing it from his hands.
He's a ganglion, dude.
They needed a reason to have another final boss. So there you go.
I mean, he could have just
He could have
honestly,
shot at it or something.
yeah, if he pulled out a gun, it would have made sense. I wouldn't have been mad if he was shooting it with a gun.
And they're all
Yeah,
just
for
talking as he's ripped. He's fucking exploding this processor. He shoots like 7 orbs at it, and they're just talking like, oh, we should hit him. Yeah, no, we should definitely hit him. Yeah, let's hit him. And meanwhile, he's just chucking shit at it.
But then Lao comes, dude.
Yeah, and then you don't even get to kill him. Lao comes in with his fucking
what
Ninja
was that
Gaiden
sword
fucking Metal Gear Rising Revengeance fucking katana.
That's those are the if you guys never used Lao, I'm guessing, as a party
No.
member. Yeah, he uses snipers and spears.
Oh, gotcha.
But he kills him with a sword.
It's a spear thing.
That's a spear? Okay.
Sort of.
Javelin, I think, in the game. Or the weapon in class is called
Yeah.
Javelin.
Anything else on story?
Trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
think.
Not really something to do with story, but adjacent to it is how cutscenes degraded after the attack on New LA. Like the overall quality and like choreography. It felt like it just wasn't as advanced isn't the right word. Just as good. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I don't know. They seemed okay.
Well, it's like when you're first get into the life hold, like you're not once are you in one of your skells in a cutscene. Like, come on, they couldn't have done that.
Oh, you wanted to be in your actual skell?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just a small gripe, and it was just really annoying to not even see my skell in action once in a cutscene.
Oh, you're talking about when you're
But-
flying there?
Yeah, like even then, the first time your whole party is technically in a skell for a mission, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a clear fucking full glass thing.
Nah, but it's sick because what you call it? What's his face? Tatsu has the little fucking sidecar, dude.
Which is obscene.
No, it's awesome.
That she went through the extra effort to extend her cockpit so she could
she's
have
a master
Tatsu
engineer.
in
It wasn't
there.
very hard for her, dude.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the 13-year-old master engineer professional chef. Let's talk about Lynn, dude,
I
with
mean-
Monado hairpins.
Those people exist. There's prodigies.
Her stats are overtuned when it comes to professions.
I mean, she's kind of a Mary Sue character, but not to an extreme.
A Mary Sue character.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember, Brad's from 1957.
What is a
no,
Mary?
it's just a trope about female leads or characters that are just like perfect and no faults, there's no growth in them or
Yeah, she has faults though.
Yeah, she cares too much.
yeah, that's why I said like slightly, like some Mary Sue trope going on, but not extremely.
Yeah, no, I thought
Yeah.
they did her well.
Yeah, I liked Lynn. It's just like it was just like Which is weird that that's the not believable part. It's like we're playing a fucking ridiculous game, and I'm like, why can this 13-year-old cook so good?
Yeah, when you think about all the other shit, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys remember the line when it's like when you first get to New LA and you ask her about scales or say that you enjoy them as well, and she says that she writes freaking
Oh
fanfics
yeah, she
about
writes
them.
Skell fanfics. See, she's flawed. That's a flaw.
That is a stain.
Is it gameplay time? I think unless you have anything else about story.
No, unless it comes up, I can't think of anything else in the story.
Yeah, nothing but tangents left, I think.
Gameplay.
I'm gonna start this one off because this game has something that no other game has, and that's the fucking soul voice system. We'll get to real gameplay shit later, but this game's gameplay is so in depth. The combat is so fucking in depth that it has something called soul voice, to where all your characters, usually in other games, they keep repeating shit and it just gets annoying. In this game, they repeat shit and it gives you buffs. So when L goes, I think they fell for it. That's a buff. That's a buff. You do like extra melee damage from behind and stuff. You could get ones that heal you for every single dialogue that happens inside of a combat scenario. And it's just the sickest thing ever. Because instead of being upset that I hear the same voice line, it's actually a audio cue to tell me which buffs are up. Granted, you have to remember 20 or so different buffs. Um, but I really like that.
They're color coded.
Yes. Oh yeah, because the little voice line subtitle will pop
Yeah.
up as like green for health, blue for blue moves, orange for attacks.
And then your skill flashes too, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's the most genius way to fix like, well, we're gonna have this game be 70 hours long, and people are gonna get sick of these words, but let's make them matter, which is a great solution if you're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I think it actually swaps up the voice responses too.
Yeah, you can change like the actual words.
Only on yours. You can't change your party members' soul voices, but you can change all of yours. Um, I wish you could change the other people's soul voices. Uh, this game is a semi-turn-based, semi-action game. Um, you auto attack, auto, like it's you don't press anything to attack aside from the first attack. And it just keeps going, and then you wait for your cooldowns. There's two types of cooldowns: the regular cooldown where you can't use the move until it's up, and then a tertiary cooldown with it, which is a green circle that goes around it, and then that'll do extra stuff. Like I played the rogue class, and I had backslash, so when I was behind it, it did 200% damage. But if I hit the tertiary cooldown, I did 400% damage. The game is dense, and that's not even getting into gear.
Yeah, I think like because I was telling you the other day, like the combat system is like an advanced version of Secret of Mana. It plays like kind of similar to how you wait for like you can keep attacking, but it's like better to wait for cooldowns.
Yeah.
It's super
Is that
interesting.
why, is that why you called it a semi turn based, Frank?
What?
You called it semi turn based system.
Yeah, because like it's semi cooldown, because like you could, even though the game is based around cooldowns in the combat, you could set it up so you're always doing something. The cooldown part really comes in from the tertiary cooldowns. Because if you're running tertiary cooldowns and really having to focus on those, then the cooldowns are twice as long. And again, this is varying depending on what gear you have, what passives you have.
It's
But
it,
like even though it is a cooldown based system, you you don't always have to wait your full turn.
it's really
Well,
hard
yeah,
because
no, it's
you can't really call it turn based, but it's like you can't really call it action either. It's like really fucked. Like what would you call it, Brad? isn't it like hard to really like explain like how the combat
Uh,
is?
I guess if I had to give it some convoluted name, positional tab target in
Yeah,
combat.
I mean that's pretty close, I would say.
Because let's be honest, you never really want to sprint because then you're not auto attacking unless you want to run away, and jumping does shit unless you fall down
And there
somewhere.
isn't really like a turn per se, but it
Yeah,
is
you can
like
always do something, but
but
you want to wait. Otherwise, you do nothing
yeah, and it's
sometimes.
turn based in a sense that it's like you have skills and then you have cooldowns, and it's like it's so hard to explain like because there's really nothing to compare it to other than other Xenoblade games. Final Fantasy
Well,
12 is kind of like it.
it's kind of
Oh,
like
they're
Dragon
MMOs,
Age without the pause system.
ironically.
Yeah, it is like a real time with pause without pause in a way.
Yeah, because it's like now that I think about it more, it is exactly like that. You have a set amount of skills, and then you wait for those skills to cool down, but you attack auto. That's Dragon Age without the pause system.
And it's just as deep as those games, if not deeper, honestly.
Deeper, in my
It's
opinion.
absurdly like there's system mechanics that I just never touched. I didn't really mess around with augments and there's like I never changed the soul voices. There's just literally like you could spend like 30 hours just tinkering with fucking mechanics.
Well, dude, if we wanted fucking weapon mods, we'd be grinding for days
That
because we'd have to turn on the online mod to get the
yeah.
war tickets. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth it.
There was like there was a point where it's like there's just too much to do in this game that's like I'm just gonna have to make compromises and accept that it's like I I just don't have time to do all this in 1 month, you know? It's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
it's kind of
possible.
sad I had rushed through it like that.
And it's like how many hours did you put into it?
A little over 50, 55
And
maybe.
and that's
Yeah,
how you
that's
know the
not
game's
rushing
and
though,
that's how
you
you know
know?
the game's crazy. It's like you're 50-hour plus in. You're like, yeah, I'm sad I rushed it. That's how dense the game
Yeah.
is.
I think we all took like a week break, but even considering that, it's still.
Yeah, I was still playing, but I was just doing like grindy stuff. Cause you probably didn't get a level 50 Skel either, Brad, right?
Oh no, I'm not freaking upgrading one more AM. I was the closest one I had was at level 3. That's a lot of mirror
Yeah,
rain.
because I think I finished the game with like 65 hours, but 6 hours of that was grinding money easily.
Oh yeah, because
And
you
the
did get a level 60, right?
Yeah, I got the most expensive Skel in the game. It was 4 million credits.
Must have freaking speed ran that.
Yeah, it was
The
super
final
easy for me.
chapter.
you also get to fully customize your character, which I'm under the impression that you can't do in any other Xenoblade.
Like talking about like create a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, because because this game is more of like a Western RPG in that sense, where you're like a silent protagonist.
My biggest gripe with the combat, not like necessarily combat, but gear wise, they give you good gear really fast for an obscenely high level above yours, because it's based on like enemies in general, not just like it's different for different levels of enemies, but like you'll be level 14 and you'll get like a level 28 gear. And by the time you get the level 28 gear, it's just like, oh, I finally get to use this. It's been like 5 or 6 hours, you know? So they could have staggered that better. Um, Skell's, their Skell's abilities are tied to the weapon. Like the weapon is the ability, and you can't use your on ground shit when you're in a Skell, so it's like a whole other thing. But then the Skell's better, so you use your ground shit less. So what you did for 30 hours, you're like not doing as much anymore, and then you got to start all over again.
Yeah, the
Ske-
scouts could have been
I
done way better.
I think Skels are sick.
Skells are awesome.
Because once you
Um,
get to fly, it's like holy shit. Then you
yeah,
really understand the scope of the game. Like you thought this
di-
shit was big? No, this shit is insanely big.
didn't even
Oh yeah,
mention that the world is fucking massive and
E-
gorgeous.
Easily one of the biggest worlds. It's like It's crazy. It does feel like you're playing like an amazing MMO.
Not a single loading screen in the world either. This is not an instance game. This is not okay, you're going to a different part of the world, wait for it to buffer no, like you can go straight from Primordia at the bottom to Cauldron at the top, no loading screen.
Frontier nav clunky.
That's another thing. There's
That
a
was bad.
Frontier Nav system, and the Frontier Nav allows you. Sorry if I'm fucking overbearing, but it's just like you can get little nodes, and then the nodes will let you like mine shit or research shit. And then you get regular money, and then there's Miriam, which you get from the nodes. You can only get Miriam through the nodes, which is on a timer that's not always consistent. The game has so much shit.
Honestly, it would have been more. I mean, because we played on emulators. That would have been way more intuitive on,
Oh
or
yeah.
more convenient and useful on a tablet, no doubt.
I don't know if you knew this, Frank, but there's even buff nodes that make you stronger when you put the node down and you fight in that node.
I did know that, but I never used it, and I didn't know how to get a buff node.
Yeah, there's like ones that make your fuel regenerate faster and shit too.
That would have helped a lot if I could put that in the grind spots.
Yeah, it's a
Also,
scam.
I did not know that the game had such a simple grinding curve. I
Yeah,
grinded the hard way for about 50 hours.
I don't think Brad did the grinding. Like I showed Brad the crazy grind. I didn't show Brad the crazy
uh,
grind.
I went to the roost, whatever it's called,
Oh,
where
did you fight the
Columbia is.
alligators?
Yeah, I looked it up on the wiki.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
not
place
gonna
is pretty
lie.
good. Well, because I showed Frank an even better spot for like 30 to 50. It's there's these
Is it with
spiders
other
in
gods?
Noctilum. They're by the Weeping Woods or something like that. That's like the best. It's honestly they're so easy to kill, and they just can't kill you.
I was sitting there, and it took me probably an hour a level, right? So I got from 0 to 30 in 30 hours. And then it was like a really slow thing. I got from 45 to 56. I mean, not 56. I got from 35 to 46 in about, I'd say, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty busted.
it is, but because he was like dreading it when I was like the grind. He's like, I don't want to grind, and then he like hit 3 enemies, and then he was already leveled up.
God bless the skills.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to explain the difference, like the jump it is from being on foot for the first 20 or 30 hours and then getting your skull. It's massive. And then being able to fly with your skull is another jump. It's like huge. The game's progression on a graph would be like flat into like a slow little curve, and to get the skull, huge jump into flat, a little curve, be able to fly with your skull, another huge jump.
Yeah, some people don't
Yeah,
like the
next to go in
scale.
space.
Some people don't like the scale because they say it ruins the exploration, but I don't. I don't agree.
Why? Why do you want to fuck hump a mountain for
I
half an
know,
hour to get where you want to
dude.
be?
Some people like that. I don't get it, but it is
Well,
super
it felt like a
annoying.
deserved reward after doing all the shit to get the skull, going through the story, just hoofing it around.
Yeah, getting it's not like you just were given the scale. It's like you have to spend fucking literally half the game doing shit before you even get it. And
And
then the
then,
one they give you just jumps high. It doesn't even fly for another like 10, 15 hours.
yeah, to outfit your whole party, you got to grind some money if you don't already have it.
Yeah, even for the
Shit
level
was
30
expensive.
scale, like you're going to be spending especially to get like weapons for them and shit, you're going to be spending millions of credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I spent like 1.5 just on weapons alone because I gave everybody a G buster and I gave everybody an A buster and I gave myself a drone and
Yeah, and each one of those is like 170,000.
um there's little blue pickups all around the world that are fucking pointless. Um You can do stuff with them, but you'll never have the ones that you want. And you're gonna. This is a Wikipedia game, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're thinking of playing this, you need to use your online resources. If not,
You
you're gonna
never want a
put.
gormless monkey?
Yeah, I mean, without any resources, this game probably would have taken me about 150 hours to beat, somewhere in there.
How much shit did you look up, Brad? Probably quite a bit. You just have to.
I looked up what Blackout and Virus did since it doesn't explain it in the game at all, and that was part of my class.
And collectibles,
Uh,
I would assume, right? Like if you needed to collect shit.
yeah, yeah. Anytime I found a quest or I was trying to make something, I looked it up.
You have to. It's like, go find this random collectible in this continent. Well, the continents are fucking massive, so you could just like be searching for hours looking for one collectible.
Yeah, or a gathering quest that requires killing something. It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't show you a highlighted area.
Yeah, no,
Like
it's just like
on a
kill this
continent.
enemy that, and it's in Primordia. Who? It could be in a fucking cave on the edge of the continent. Like you have no idea.
Yeah, and for the drop rates in this game, since we don't have reward tickets, I'm not wasting time searching.
Dude, the drop rates are a fucking lie.
I spent an hour and 48 minutes. I timed it getting one thing from an enemy.
And then you go to the wiki and it'll be like, oh, it's a common drop. No, it's fucking not, dude. All the common drops never drop for me.
Yeah, like how it was a common drop for those wires, right, on those enemies, and then it was like I fight the other enemy that was supposed to drop it, and I got it like way faster.
Yeah, I was watching Frank fight these things for multi-wires, Brad.
Yeah.
He gets the most legendary drop that this enemy can drop twice, but he didn't get the multi-wire, which is a common drop at all. And he killed like 40 of them.
What the?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
And then he goes kills like another enemy that can drop it, drops it instantly. So dumb.
Yeah, that's why I stopped doing red quests. As soon as if I didn't have any of the items gathered beforehand, that was a requirement. I just dropped it.
Had to had to give up on a quest because of a drop. These fucking ox serves. Ox serves are these flying creatures that you have to
Oh
fight in
yeah.
a scale if you're a melee class. But they drop from breaking the spine. But you can't target the spine if you're in a scale. So I got fucked on that entire quest line because I spec'd into melee.
I couldn't do it either. I tried.
Wait, could you if you locked on would that disappear if you re-entered your skull then?
Yeah.
The skull targets the body. The skull apparently is not precise enough to target the spine.
It's too big to target the
Or
actual thing.
I meant like leave then re-enter, but yeah, the skull is janky sometimes. Like Frank, that one screenshot you posted about freaking being 90 degrees vertical.
Frank's skull was
180.
always like that. Every time I watched him, dude, he's just like floating under enemies shooting.
Oh,
Yeah, it would fly, and no matter how low I would get to the ground, it would go back into fly mode. So it would circle around it, like having the point of like us, like the center point be the enemy. So if I was right under it, I'd be laying down.
wait, why didn't you just fly up? You're burning fuel anyway.
M- because it looked funny. Doesn't matter where I am. To my knowledge, like I looked at it extensively and I even did it afterwards because Colin was mentioning it. He's like, the skulls don't have like back hit properties, and they really don't, unless I was just getting bad rolls for 20 hours straight.
Yeah, no, it'll say if it has back hit, but yeah, like the G Buster, it doesn't matter where you hit it.
Like damage wise, you mean?
Yeah, there's no like property for like a back strike on it.
Yeah,
But
no,
like
yeah, it'd have to be an augment.
and skull combat is just it's pretty boring comparatively to on ground combat because like when you're on ground, it's real easy to say, yeah, this is a turn-based, cooldown-based game, but you're always doing shit. Like, because I was the rogue class, I would go behind them to do a move, and then I would go to the side of them to do a move because it does extra on the side. And if I hit the side move on the side during the tertiary combo, I got to do it again for free. And then I had another move that goes to the back. And these enemies don't fucking stay static. They're twirling around and going "Hwah," and putting horns up and fucking flying away. And it's like positioning is really important for certain moves.
Well, and the Skell is just like, oh, you got a sick weapon? Oh, it does 30,000 damage? All right, sit here, use it, wait for the 2-minute cooldown, use it. Like, there's just not
Yeah.
much to it. Go into overdrive, just stay in overdrive constantly.
That's another thing. There's overdrive, and you can min max overdrive. Do I know how to? Fuck no. But can you do it? Yeah. This is if you like min maxing in games, this is the game to do it. There's certain abilities that are busted, like being able to mind control your enemy and then just have it murder shit, or fucking sit around and or you can do the thing that I started to do at the end because Colin told me. You can fucking put up a decoy and have you just never get hit for minutes at a time.
Yep. The decoy shit's crazy.
Should have bought that. That was the thing.
Well, that was for Frank's class.
Oh yeah, we all picked different classes.
My class was so brain dead. You get sword, swing. There was almost no thought.
You had no like positional like bonuses or anything.
One back attack. Here's what I would do. Start fight. Use offensive stance, which just makes your melee do more damage, but you take more damage. Use my 2 debuffs. It lowers physical defense, and then it inflicts fucking thermal damage. And then I just spam sword skills. I didn't even have a gun skill. I used them for a bit, and I'm like, these suck. This is all sword skills.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, my class wasn't crazy, but I was doing more shit than that.
Brad played the hardest class.
Dude, have those skills when going to the side corruptor mastermind. Even the Galactic Knight was way. It was way too bad.
It's like a support class.
No, the Galactic Knight is supposed to be the tank damage dealer version on that line. But so the mastermind, in the end, I had chrome armor, repair, the 1 health that heals everybody and gives plus evasion, smooth recovery, and barrier. I had 4 support arts on the final boss, and then I only had beam assault, ether blast, and 1 fucking 1 aura.
How much health did you have?
By the end of it, like 6k, but I was still around 4 to 5. I was pretty squishy.
That's where I was at the end, 6k.
That's how I know your tank classes lie. I had 16,000 HP.
Oh my god.
Like, I was the true tank class, dude. Like, I just literally couldn't die.
There's also like really important shit that you need to like think about, because like your tank classes are there to tank for you, you know, but they'll just do whatever they want, so you got to set up their arts in a certain way so that they do what you want.
Oh, you can tell them what to do, sorta.
Kinda.
Use melee weapons, because Lynn and Elmo were useless without melee.
Yeah. But like I did the thing where it's like, okay, only give them like certain moves that affect the entire party, and then just smash TP moves on the rest of it. That way, in the beginning of the fight, at least you're getting buffed. Because they'll just do whatever the fuck they want sometimes, dude.
Yeah, I just basically never told them to do anything because I was a god. So, you know, they could do whatever the fuck they wanted.
You must have concentrated fire on limbs before, though.
Oh, yeah, just to pray to God that I'd get the common drop.
Lies.
Yeah, I was scammed out of my orc servos, whatever the fuck those things were, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
servos.
Concentrate fire is pretty much the only thing I told people to do in the battle menu.
It's the most useful
That and
one.
like, yeah. And if it was like an enemy that shot me through the floor, dude. This is one of those games where enemies can be in a different room than you and still target you and shoot you, which becomes a problem.
Tab targeting.
Yeah, there's some. I don't
And that
understand.
was annoying.
Yeah, I don't even understand how this thing was hitting Frank. It was really scuffed.
It was like fucking miles away on a completely different because it was at the end, right? And you go like up the stairs and shit. He was under the stairs in another room that I haven't been to, and it targeted me.
In the fortress,
Yeah.
Cauldron, or Cauldress.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. The chapter 11.
That was a slog.
It was easy for me. Well, I went halfway through it, got stuck on the mid boss, and then power leveled.
Yeah, I eventually just said fucking started power leveling.
I
That's
tried
what
that.
we
I
did
tried
for
that
it.
boss like 7 times though, and I just couldn't do it. He would just like hit me for almost all my health instantly.
The weird cross shape mech, right? That you find swarming, surrounded by other enemies,
Uh, the
or
one
before Ares.
the one that you fight before Lao, and then you unlock the
Okay, yeah,
gate
yeah.
and you can bring your skells in.
All right, yeah. That
That guy
that was a
kept fucking
pain.
me up.
The game
Oh
has difficulty curves.
yeah, they punch you right in the face sometimes, or most of the time.
Well, I mean, not you, cause yeah.
Dude, that was on accident when I was trying to
I
master
like
him.
how
I
you knew
made the
instantly what you
fucking
were implying. Yeah, Brad put a
When
boss on easy because he's a baby.
Yeah, this game has this awesome system where if you keep getting your shit kicked in by a story mission, it'll just be like, "Hey, you're a little baby. Go into little baby mode." And it'll ask you every time if you keep dying.
It's a good feature.
it's like every 2 or 3 times.
Sometimes I just wouldn't get it. It was weird. And then I would get it all the time.
Honestly, wish it would have been fine if there was in the options just something to disable that or a toggle. That's all it needs.
But yeah, the world is great. I really liked Noctilim, and then I really didn't like Noctilim because sometimes you need to get surveys, and the survey system doesn't work how you think it would, dude, because you don't survey by picking up nodes. Those are actually like some of the worst ways to do it. You go around and pick up treasure and kill shit. And it's just like everything has some type of mechanic. So like I don't know. I feel like we're not giving the world justice here. Cause like Mira as a world is astounding.
It definitely. I think the first 3 continents are really good, and the last two are felt a little rushed.
I have biased opinions on the ice world because it's my favorite world aesthetically, but it is the most volatile world in terms of gameplay.
That's Brad's
My most
favorite
favorite
area.
music.
Oh, the
Yeah, the
music. Oh,
whole.
we have a whole sound design thing. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I was just saying that was my probably my favorite, one of my top 5 tracks of the game.
I like Noctilum. It was the most interesting looking like biome. Especially
Yeah.
the Divine Roost where the fucking super boss is. It's just like a sick area.
Yeah. Oh, the music change when you're flying in.
Yep.
Dope.
So good.
And like this
Oh yeah.
game could have easily just been like Primordia, but like it's just so much extra. And then verticality as well. Like there's floating islands above Primordia once you get to fly in your skull. Like it's
Yeah.
it's it's huge. It's a huge game. Oblivia was good.
One of the first things I did, I was just like, how far can you swim? It's like you can just go wherever the fuck you want. There is no restriction other than something might kill you, but nothing stopped. You could like literally go to like the fucking last continent at level 1 if you really wanted to, which is super cool.
Yeah, I think I went to Sylvia, like, or Sylvia, whatever it is. I went to the
Sylvan.
ice. Yeah, Siflum. I went to that like 20 hours in, which was a horrible idea, but I went there.
Yeah, both those places, it's just like everything's super high level and had like aggro.
Yep, there was a certain quest. You had to be in the Banshee's cave. You had to go find a blade that took shelter there. And the thing is, there's this is when I was around level 30ish. There's 250 servers guarded at the entrance with the electrical and sight alerts. And then when you go in, there's bugs that are like level 40, 50, and it's Simeon in there that just decided to patrol around where I had to talk to the guy to advance the quest. That shit was so aggravating.
Diogenes, dude.
I beat Diogenes.
Without the
So,
scowl.
uh,
Unlike Brad.
there's also a billion different types of enemies. There's enemies with little purple shit above them. That means that like they're the titan of the area, and they're like the alpha, and you gotta establish dominance. And then there's different colors for enemies, and it just keeps going, dude.
Variety was pretty consistent across the whole game, so that was cool.
Yeah, you're always seeing like new enemies. I mean, there's a lot of the same, but you'll see just like, oh, this is new. Oh, I haven't seen this before, which is cool.
Yeah, lots of enemy variety. And there's enemies that you'll see throughout like the entire like time you play the game, and you'll never fight them. Like, cause they're just that badass. They're that fucking big, like that level 92 in Primordia. That's just fucking massive.
Yeah, there's a sandworm, the flying fish that
Yeah.
sailed around some bridges. There's a lot.
Well, and it's funny too because the level cap's 60, so it's just like, yeah, you either gonna have to get a level 60 or 90 scale, or learn how to cheese the game post game. It's like all cheese.
You have to get to freaking Final Fantasy 10 levels of breaking the game.
Yeah, no, it's just like that. It's like, oh, stay in overdrive the whole time, or just like dumb shit.
Which is odd. I wonder if they just decided 60 was enough and they didn't feel like making any more progression
It
for
could
like
be. I mean,
parts and classes.
yeah, I mean the scales still progress, so that kind of makes it. They probably just like, oh, you should just do it in scales. But you can definitely do it on foot. You just need to get a lot of like accuracy augments because you cannot hit shit that high level without them, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that was an issue while grinding. I lost more than a couple skills against a dialysis because of whiffs.
There's also factions that you have to choose from that mean almost nothing.
Yeah, the 8 online outfits.
They mean stuff because that's how I got my blade level so high. Is because my shit went up just from picking up the blue collectibles. So
Oh,
I
your blade level must have been fucking
yeah, I maxed it out
awesome.
at 10. But I literally looked up like what's the best offline fucking blade thing to pick, and then I forget which one it is, but it's the one that just levels up from collectibles.
Was it the green one?
Yeah, it was the green one.
It's the first one they talk about.
Yep.
That cutscene's like a half an hour long too.
I forget about that, but yeah, they're like, all right, we're gonna explain all 8 blades in depth. These are pretty much meaningless, but here's a huge exposition dump on what all of them do.
And it's only mentioned for like a little bit. Actually, only the curators are mentioned most of the time because the curators were always getting fucked up. It's like the curator fucking it's they're stranded next to a giant monkey. Go kill the monkey. Oh, the curators got lost in Noctilum. Go find them.
Right. Trying to think of the other gameplay stuff. I feel like we touched on most of it.
Yeah, I said
Uh,
most of what I wanted to say.
I guess the only other thing I could add is that, or an improvement that could have been done is somehow incentivize you from not just being reliant on skills and outside of when you're forced to, like have them synergize ground gear or ground combat and skill combat somehow.
They
But
sort of do. It's just clunky, but like if you get out and then debuff and then get in your Skell, like that is optimal. It's just super clunky.
oh yeah, and depending on the enemy you're facing, you're risking getting freaking blown up or staggered or launched. I don't know.
Oh, well, that leads into another thing. Skells have two mechanics that doesn't really make sense or it is fully explained. It has the binding, which is simple to understand. You bind it, you bind the enemy, and then it regenerates fuel. And then there's first person mode, which resets all of your cooldowns and makes the camera go shit itself.
Yeah, which is RNG, which is kind of weird that you just can randomly, get all your skills on off cooldown instantly, which is huge. Can literally change battles.
Yeah, having that be a manageable feature would have been way better.
Yeah, it's
Instead
just
of
it's straight up random. I looked it up. It's just like, oh, sometimes it happens. You get
Alan was
lucky.
shitting himself, dude, because I had Skell off cooldown and overdrive on for like 40 seconds.
Yeah, he'd keep getting like the cockpit thing over and over again on the final boss. It's just like he kept hitting it somehow, which is super
is,
lucky.
is the overdrive extender extension random too?
I didn't look
Seems like
that
it.
up, but that I bet's not random. I bet that has to do something with like maybe do like X amount of damage or something, and then it'll extend. But it
From
doesn't.
what I've noticed, you're extending while you do moves.
Yeah, it doesn't work the same way as the grounded one. I know that because I don't think you can extend that.
Yeah, that's what use and lose.
But if you build crazy builds, you'll gain 3,000 TP by the time you get out of it. So essentially, you'll have infinite overdrive.
Yeah, TP was like not a thing for me late game because like my TP well was pretty big too, but like on ground I would run all of my auras and still be able to fucking get my overdrive if I wanted.
That's insane to me. I final boss, I was just sitting there tapping it with my knife while I build up TP for my aura so I can do my burst damage.
How much TP did you have?
3,000, but I could never find a none of my weapons, or I never made a mod or augment that gave TP on art usage or anything like that.
Yeah, because I ended up having like 7K. Just because like the
Yeah,
TP up, it just gives you so much extra TP.
I think I had 4,500 or something. There's also oh, let's talk about revives, dude. Revives are fucking pointless in my opinion. I probably revive twice. Um, because the cost is insane. You need morale and TP. Like it's insane, and I still don't know fully how morale works.
It's just hitting anytime you hit the QuickTime event, you get one morale bar,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is pretty easy to build morale. TP is the harder thing.
We didn't even talk about the fucking QuickTime events. After you hit something and it'll proc a soul voice, you do a QuickTime event to see if the soul voice procs.
Which heals you too and builds morale. And then there's
Or just
stats that
TP dependent.
yeah, and there's stats that aren't explained, like potential, which is just some sort of like luck stat. The game has
Yeah, but
endless depth. Like you could literally spend hundreds of hours just fucking around with like builds and stuff.
yeah, the systems are super customizable.
And it's like, yeah, we spent like 60ish hours each, and there's tons of post game content you could still do. There's super bosses, there's tons of quests that aren't done. You unlock new affinity quests when you beat the game that you didn't have before. The game's
Insane.
it's endless. Like it would take you legit months to actually get to a point where it's like, yeah, I've done pretty much everything.
Any other
Oh yeah.
game play?
Oh yeah. one more thing about gameplay. You guys notice when you're scrolling through to get to commands and whatnot for your party, there's an option. There's a window for items,
I did
but you
see
never
that.
get a single usable item. I think in the game or in battle.
I wonder what that's for.
Single-use items? Yeah, it was mentioned. I never used it.
Can you use? Is there a whole fucking thing we missed out on?
Yo, maybe
Entirely
revive
possible. I think
items.
there's 70 whole things we missed out on. Because if I didn't do that L's Conundrum quest, I would have missed out on a whole fucking shop.
Okay, so there is consumable items. Division rewards for division activities. Oh yeah, dude. Personal patch restores HP to maximum.
What?
Tensifier raises tension by 1,000. Let's see. Frame
Dude.
patch
Oh.
restores skull frame HP to max. Affects all party skulls in operation. Fuel
Yep,
up
well-
restores 3,000 fuel.
Oh, I could have fought, dude.
How do
You
you
could
get
buy
these?
those?
Division
How many
rewards
hours have
for
I
division
wasted?
activities. What are division activities?
Oh, it's probably
that's
online.
shit.
Oh, yep. Because it's with your blade like thing. So it is probably online. Yeah, that's crazy. We played the game on hard mode.
Oh yeah.
That's how you get salvage
Well, I mean,
tickets,
me and you
too.
did.
Oh yeah, Brad put it on easy.
Once.
Once. One time.
It was an accident. All right,
yeah,
I think
we-
it's time, dude. We come from a distant land, stuck on a whole different planet.
The soundtrack.
Dude, we should have been able to fucking stop the aerial soundtrack from changing.
Oh, you can. There's a mod in there that you can just set it so it doesn't proc.
There's in mods. Could have sworn I must
Yeah,
have
yeah.
looked it.
I liked it. I like that song. It did get a little annoying, but the flying song was a banger.
Well, I wanted to listen to the other other continent songs, and I barely did because I was flying all the time.
Yeah, you could turn it off with a mod, but that is a little annoying. Good music though. I mean, it's like it's different, but it fits the game like perfectly.
Yeah,
I
liked it
was
a lot.
dying when I heard the battle music, and not for nothing, they could have chose any other battle song to like be the most played battle song. Maybe one without words.
You didn't like it?
I liked it for about 35 hours. I
Well,
liked
true.
it.
Is there any game that's 50 plus hours where it has a battle song that you don't get sick of? Like, that's impossible.
Blue Dragon.
No, fuck that. Yeah, you're not hearing the boss one constantly though.
Come on, dude. How could you ever get tired of? Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
Frank,
I know you.
what was the one with like the chick where you're in town, dude? The oh.
Yeah. Oh. I actually am not a fan of that song because it has like it's like Katamari Damacy music where it's like beep beep beep.
There's a good song. It's a weird soundtrack, but it fits the game, I think.
Whoa.
And I like that they did something different where it's not just like, oh, it's fucking epic, orchestrated, stereotypical JRPG music. They actually tried to change it up a
Yeah.
little.
And they still had those pieces, and when they played them, they were good.
There is there is like sick, like, oh shit, shit's going down when this song's playing.
Yeah, like I think Lau's and the Ganglion Stronghold, it's a banger that played when he first activate the life hold. I think.
Yeah.
When they find out the truth.
Some of the boss battles have like sick music too.
Yeah, the game is chock full of bangers, dude.
Oh yeah, the Skell Overdrive song that always got me hyped.
Oh yeah, you can turn that off too with the mod, but that one's not as you're not hearing that as much as every time you hit fly.
I liked the flying music.
Every
That was-
time though.
Well, I flew less than I battled, so.
I mean, I really liked Silvalum and College Rose's theme, so that's why I was like, no.
Well, Civilum constantly crashed, so I spent the least amount of time there.
Civilum fucked me.
I lucked out there. You get a single crash.
That's wild.
It is wild because me and Frank constantly crashed in that area.
I was
The
grinding
only,
alligators, dude, and I crashed probably 7 times.
the only thing I
Wait,
can think of is the aspect ratio or different
no,
GPUs. That's
it could be GPU related, yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't alligators. It was I don't know, it was something.
Well, I know those orc servos are in Civilum. You might have crashed doing that.
I don't know. Whenever I was grinding, maybe it was alligators. Because remember, I kept. Oh no, that's when I had to keep
Yeah, you kept
restarting.
dying. No, you crashed when you were exploring because you had to get 15%.
Yeah,
That's when I kept crashing too, where you need to get the survey up, and it just keeps crashing.
this is a one save game, and it has some bullshit. Because your Skell takes power, and it's on an insurance policy system. So if your Skell dies, you got to go all the way back to the Blade Barracks. But professional gamers such as us would just save scum and fucking get your skull back anyway. So the insurance system never runs out if you do it right.
Yeah, because
oh,
you can't get more insurance tickets unless you play online.
it wasn't that bad, dude. It was only your scale being affected. Like the other ones never lost their insurance counts.
Oh
They
yeah, I'd run around and nobody has a skull but me all the fucking time.
the we kind of like you kind of need to play this game online.
It's it's doable without. I mean, we did it, but
Would
it's
have been
definitely a
more
struggle
enjoyable,
bus.
Yeah, it
more
makes
quest
things like
completed.
needlessly difficult too.
Which is bad game design in my opinion, because having your game be online based for the Wii U is rough.
Well, I mean, they weren't expecting the console to do piss poor.
They were forward thinking with it. It's a game that's ahead of its time in some ways.
It's an MMORPG that is feigning a Xenoblade game.
I mean,
4-player co-op would have been cool because that would
yeah,
be all at the same time. You could do super bosses together and shit.
but it's like the sickest MMO I've ever played
Yeah.
because no MMOs actually like this. But yeah, I feel like if you want a game with more story, the other Xenoblade games are like literally shit on this. Their
100%.
their narrative is just like so much better. Not that this one's bad. It's just those games are next level in my opinion with storytelling. But
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
potential. Oh,
this game does gameplay better in a lot of ways though. I think it has some really cool
my
gameplay
headset
ideas.
died.
Best Xenoblade game I've played.
Only Xeno game he's played. But
All right, closing statements on the game.
opinions. It's good. You should play it. Buy a Wii U, if I guess it's worth it, or play it on an emulator if you're not poor. I don't know. It's like I would say a 4 out of 5 for me. It's it's good. It's flawed. It's definitely worth playing, but it's good. That's
It is a game that will consume your life if you let it. I could easily see somebody slipping around and end up putting 80 hours into it because we rushed it and we
rushed.
were hovering around the 50 to 60 mark. Um, a lot of the time in the game, you'll just be like, "Huh, I wonder what's over there," and just lose hours of your life. Um, game does a lot of things that I think is really interesting. Again, I'm a huge fan of the soul voice system. Um, it's a it's a 4.20
Damn.
in my opinion
A
out of 5.
420. It's a
There you
weird.
go.
Oh, we're doing out of 5 this time.
Well, not
Well,
that
I
you
mean, you
ever.
can measure it in coconuts. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, we've always done it out of 5, Brad. Except that
thought-
one time where you just randomly used a different number, so we just all said
Oh.
random shit.
Uh,
We're 5 fans here, dude.
Do it out of 17.
No, no, no. Do it out of whatever you want.
I'm giving it a 3.5.
3? Oh my god.
What?
Explain your shitty rating, dude.
I shit.
You gave Bug Fables a 4.
Yeah.
You also gave, I'm pretty sure, what'd you give Fallout?
I gave that a 4 too, right?
Okay,
No,
well,
you gave it a 3.
okay, well. This game shits on Bug Fables, dude.
I guess the way I look at it is overall, like, the downsides for the game are just they're way more. They're not massive, but they drag it down a lot to what I think that about the potential that was there.
Yeah.
In my like the game, yeah, broken record said it's like 10 times now. But if they fleshed out all these loose story ends, or somehow chopped them off and then made a more refined, fluid progression that made sense and had more time, it would have been on the likes of Xenoblade or Chronicles, the first one.
Yeah, I mean
I think.
that's why I said 4. It's just like the story is like whatever until the last hour, and that's like, oh, this is the sickest shit, and now the game's over, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
that was upsetting in a way. It was cool but upsetting.
There's very little closure for the game
There's
because it's
none.
like,
That's a
yeah,
fucking cliff.
because you kill Luxar, right? But it's like some games close a door and open a window, dude. This game closes a door and then blows half your house up.
Well, it's
It's
like the
like
Ganglions an interstellar organization or part of a larger federation. Like Luxar was only one part of them, technically. I think.
They're part of the Sumerian Federation. It makes no fucking sense. I can't. The story. It gives
you
me a
can't make
headache.
sense of it. No.
Yeah, we can only do so much conjecture
Yeah,
without it
because
going off the rails.
we're just bullshitting at a certain point because we have no idea what their intended purpose. I feel like they were bullshitting with half of this anyway. Not a bad game though. It's worth playing.
Oh, 100%.
I would say if you haven't played Xenoblade though, play the first or Xenoblade Chronicles just because like that's a little more of a more complete game. Whereas this game's more of a let's make something weird, and it like
Yeah.
it worked out, but it's like it is a little weird and out there.
Yeah, the really closest things they have in common are the combat systems and references, and exploration, obviously. But those are just themes. Other than that, they're like kind of completely different.
Yeah, almost not even similar in a lot of
Like
ways.
X is really actually non-linear, just due to all the shit you can do in the middle. Like if you rushed it, you're spoiling yourself or depriving yourself of.
Oh yeah,
Bunch of game.
do not just power through the story in this game because you'll be disappointed.
You
You
can't, because there's so much jumps between the story missions and the affinity missions and like all the side shit that you're doing because like you'll be 10 to 20 levels behind on every mission if you just power through it. Like those side missions are not an option. You have to do some of them
yeah.
unless you find grinding spots.
Yeah, and you can cheese like the speed run. There's a lot of cheese, but it's like a normal person that's just playing the game, you'll get distracted by something. You'll see something cool, you'll go look at it. There's just like there's no reason to rush the story either. It's just like the best parts of this game are not the narrative. It's everything around it, and the narrative's okay. It doesn't like suck, you know.
It gets good. It's just like not necessarily in like the streamlined story that they're telling. It gets good in like parts that you don't expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get these when you see certain story beats. Like actually, if they listen this far, they've been spoiled of everything. But the first time when you save Lynn from the ganglion the first boss lady from her blast, and your arm blows up, and if you're robotic, you're a mimiosome. Dude,
Oh yeah.
that was a sick reveal to me because I was just thinking ahead of how they were going to go with this, and the
That
fact
was
that you got to
so
find the
long
core.
ago.
I know. I think about it like that was. It feels like a year ago when I was doing that. You know.
I completely forgot that my arm exploded.
Or dude, I thought that like you were an android made solely for this mission, like, and everybody else was actually human.
Right.
It
It
just
is.
had my mind going.
It is crazy because like the beginning of the story is like pretty fucking engaging. There's like some crazy shit happening. It just hits this really long lull, and then it ramps up to like 1,000 right at the end.
Yeah, the lack of urgency in the middle point is kind of.
I know Frank kept complaining like, dude, there's 5%, dude. We're about to die.
Yeah.
Like I can't be finding fucking trinkets out in the desert.
Oh yeah, that's the problem with JRPGs when it comes to quests like that.
Yeah, it's like some of it doesn't make sense, but
It's just it does kind of suck because I can see somebody getting super engrossed in this world and this story because I was for a while, you know. Probably the first like 20, 25 hours. I was just like super interested in everything. And then it just like it doesn't suck the life out of you, but you definitely start caring less. And by the time you've like reached the bottom of your caring point, like it just goes bananas.
yeah, it's because you just hit like it's like a span of like 4 or 5 story missions where it's like none of it really matters and it's just not that interesting, which sucks
No
because
payoff.
yeah, that it sucks. But then it does ramp up. It saves itself in the end.
Like the Manon, they modeled a whole ship for him and the interior, basically a whole area for him, and they do nothing with it.
They do
I
nothing
went
with
there 3 times.
All they go is me 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 me.
Yeah, little Jar Jar Binks aliens,
Bunch of
dude.
praise, dude.
It's definitely something more plannable. Bunch of little.
All right, Brad. What's your game? Is it a curveball?
Nope, it was spoiled.
Oh, I knew it. I didn't tell Frank though. Frank doesn't know what it is.
Neither do our viewers.
Well, they're about to find out, and it's called Voice of Cards, the new Yoko Taro game.
Yep, we can play it.
Voice of Card. I've never even heard of this shit.
Yeah, it's a card game.
I like card games.
Frank Boner achieved, dude. It's not Mario.
This fucking Brad guy, dude.
Dude, it was gonna be Super Paper Mario, which is a good platformer.
It is.
He hops in, dude, and goes, "How many Paper Mario games did you guys play?" After we did a whole podcast of me saying how I fucking hated that entire genre.
Well, I had to be sure of Colin. I knew you haven't played any.
He said that with quite the malice intent.
But, I was being
Then
thorough.
has the audacity to go, "Oh, you just never like what I pick." I'm excited for Voice of Cards.
You never like what either pick. And that's a rock fact.